Beyond survival, the revolutionary power of healing on your own terms. Have you ever noticed how we're taught to wear our trauma like a badge of honor? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, they say. But what if what didn't kill you is still slowly draining your life force every single day? I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Kigaya Wilson, a remarkable trauma therapist whose work is transforming how we understand healing, especially for Black women navigating the complex intersections of racial trauma, relational abuse, and the constant pressure to be everyone's rock. Her insights have fundamentally shifted my understanding of what true healing looks like. Kia isn't just a therapist, she's a visionary who's creating spaces where the most marginalized can finally exhale, be seen, and begin the journey back to themselves. Her work stands at the intersection of clinical excellence and lived experience, making her guidance not just theoretically sound, but deeply authentic. The truth is, we've been sold a dangerous myth about resilience. That myth tells us that bouncing back quickly is the goal, that forgiveness is mandatory, that getting over it is the measure of our strength. But what if true healing isn't about how quickly you recover? What if it's about honoring the depth of your wounds and giving them the time and care they deserve? When I spoke with Kia Wilson, she shared something that stopped me in my tracks. Healing isn't linear, and it certainly isn't a race. The pressure to get over it often comes from people who are uncomfortable witnessing your pain, not from what your soul actually needs. Let's be honest. For many of us, especially Black women, we've been conditioned to swallow our pain, to keep pushing, to be the strong one holding everyone else together. We wear our ability to endure as proof of our worth, but at what cost? The cost is steep and it's written in our bodies. Did you know that chronic stress and unaddressed trauma literally change your physical health? For women of color in particular, this manifests in alarming rates of autoimmune disorders, cardiovascular issues, and chronic fatigue. Our bodies keep the score, even when our minds are busy pretending everything's fine. That constant elevation of cortisol, the stress hormone, wreaks havoc on everything from your immune system to your digestive tract to your ability to sleep. I'm reminded of Darlie, the trauma therapist behind the Shape of Wellness on TikTok, whose work Kia Wilson highlighted during our conversation. Darlie speaks powerfully about why rushing forgiveness after trauma can actually hinder genuine healing. Her message resonates deeply with survivors who feel pressured by family, faith communities, or society to quickly forgive and move on after experiencing profound harm. Forgiveness, Darley explains, is not a checkbox on someone else's timeline. It's a deeply personal process that may take years, or it may not happen at all. And that's okay. Her approach honors each person's unique healing journey instead of forcing premature forgiveness. The result? Her clients report feeling truly validated in their experiences for perhaps the first time. They take more empowered steps towards self care rather than suppressing their pain for others' comfort. This work has helped shift conversations around forgiveness within Black communities toward one rooted in compassion rather than obligation. And that shift is revolutionary because here's what we rarely talk about: healing from trauma isn't just about what happened to you, it's about reclaiming what was taken from you: your sense of safety, your boundaries, your voice, your joy. And that reclamation is not a straight line, it's messy. It doubles back on itself. Some days you feel powerful, and other days you can barely get out of bed. Both are part of the journey. The digital landscape presents its own unique challenges for those healing from trauma. Dr. Rihanna Elise Anderson, whose work Kia Wilson deeply respects, provides crucial guidance on managing exposure to traumatic content online, particularly footage related to racialized violence. Black viewers are often re traumatized by viral videos depicting violence against people who look like them. This persistent exposure compounds existing trauma symptoms among survivors already coping with personal histories of abuse or systemic oppression. Dr. Anderson encourages setting firm boundaries around media consumption and prioritizing mental wellness through therapy or peer support groups tailored specifically for Black audiences dealing with compounded collective grief and individual traumas. Her followers report adopting healthier digital habits. Many seek culturally competent therapists specializing in race based stress reactions, a crucial step toward holistic recovery from both personal and collective wounds. As Dr. Anderson says, your nervous system doesn't know the difference between witnessing trauma on a screen and experiencing it firsthand. Both can activate your fight, flight, freeze response and keep you in a state of hypervigilance. This is why representation matters so deeply in mental health spaces. When Kia Wilson speaks about being a neurodivergent Black woman with lived experience as both a survivor and professional healer, she's highlighting something essential. Healing happens best when we see ourselves reflected in those guiding us through the process. For too long, mental health spaces have centered whiteness, neurotypicality, and experiences that don't reflect the complex realities of those navigating life with CPTSD, ADHD, autism, or the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, especially in communities of color. The stigma surrounding therapy persists within many communities. Acknowledging vulnerability is still seen as weakness rather than strength, particularly among professionals expected always to save others, but rarely offered reciprocal care themselves. Chris Hinton, another healer whose work Kia Wilson highlighted, addresses this head on through his TikTok platform. By openly discussing his journey through therapy, including the setbacks, growth spurts, and ultimate transformation, Chris models what sustainable change looks like when you invest consistently in your well being over time instead of seeking quick fixes. His transparency inspires people across demographics to embrace authenticity without apology while building healthier relationships at home, work, and in their communities. The strongest thing you can do, Chris often says, is admit when you need help. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. This wisdom is particularly crucial for Black women who've been conditioned to be everyone's support system while denying their own needs. The strong Black woman trope isn't just exhausting, it's deadly. It keeps us from seeking help when we're drowning. It convinces us that our value lies in how much we can endure rather than in our inherent worthiness of care. As Kia Wilson powerfully articulated during our interview, your healing matters not because of what you can produce or how you can serve others once you're better. Your healing matters because you matter. Full stop. Let that sink in for a moment. Your healing matters because you matter. Not because it will make you more productive, not because it will make you easier for others to deal with, not because it will help you forgive those who hurt you. Your healing matters because you deserve to live a life that isn't defined by your wounds. This is why healing isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not selfish, it's survival. But here's where I want to challenge us all. What if we aimed beyond mere survival? What if we dared to imagine not just healing our wounds, but cultivating genuine joy, pleasure, and peace? What if the goal wasn't just to stop hurting, but to start thriving? This is the revolutionary power of healing on your own terms. It's about reclaiming not just your baseline, but your birthright to a life of fullness. So, where do we start? How do we begin this journey of healing that honors our unique experiences and needs? First, give yourself permission not just to survive, but to thrive. Whether you're wrestling with leaving unhealthy dynamics or learning how deep seated stress may be impacting your body, take one concrete step this week towards your own healing. Set aside 10 minutes daily for mindful reflection. Reach out anonymously online if you're not ready for face to face support, or simply journal your feelings without judgment. Second, recognize that healing happens in community. While the journey is deeply personal, we weren't meant to walk it entirely alone. Find spaces, whether online or in person, where your full experience is honored and validated. Space where you don't have to be the strong one, the caretaker, or the educator. As the African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Third, remember that healing isn't just about addressing what hurts, it's about cultivating what brings you joy. When was the last time you did something purely because it delighted you? Not because it was productive or beneficial or responsible, but simply because it made your heart sing. Joy is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of pleasure, purpose, and peace, even amid life's challenges. And for those who've experienced trauma, reclaiming your right to joy is perhaps the most radical act of all. As Audre Lorde so powerfully stated, caring for myself is not self indulgence, it is self preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. In a world that expects Black women to carry everyone else's burdens while silencing their own needs, prioritizing your healing isn't just personal, it's political. It challenges systems designed to keep you depleted. It disrupts narratives that value your output over your well being. I stand before you today not just as a speaker, but as a witness to the transformative power of healing on our own terms. Through the wisdom of healers like Kia Wilson, Darley, Dr. Anderson, and Chris Hinton, we are learning that our wounds don't have to be our final story. I challenge you today. Reject the narrative that says your worth is measured by how much pain you can endure. Embrace instead the radical truth that you deserve to heal completely, joyfully, and without apology. Your healing journey isn't a luxury to be postponed, it's an urgent reclamation of everything that is rightfully yours. It's time to move beyond survival and into the fullness of life that awaits on the other side of healing. The revolution begins not in the streets, but in our bodies, our boundaries, our voices raised to say, I matter enough to heal. I matter enough to thrive. I matter enough to be whole. That revolution starts today. That revolution starts with you.